tracking a DMV first warn day going into your Saturday. Storms, they're in the forecast. More on that coming up.
A normal Friday in D.C. turns violent. The jewelry store robbery that led to a transit police officer shooting a woman near DuPont Circle.
President Trump names 8 new appointees to the Holocaust Memorial Museum Board.
What happens when like a major government entity interferes with other people?
Who the new board members are and reaction from people here in the district.
Disappointment tonight in Bowie. The plan to close down the Six Flags amusement park at the end of the season.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for DC News Now at 9 o'clock. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Tosin Fakile. Susan Tran has the night off. We begin with a check of your forecast this evening. Here's a live look outside towards the U.S. Capitol tonight. We are preparing for some severe weather this weekend.
Yeah, let's get in now. The latest with Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb. And Janessa, tomorrow we're going to be on a DMV First Warn Day.
Yeah, we've issued it for the afternoon into your evening because we're going to have storms. They did not materialize tonight, and it's actually very pretty across the entire region, and milder temperatures that are currently in place. You are seeing a ton of clearing right now. Temperatures currently at 76 degrees. The clouds trying to come in from the south, but we have dealt with a few spot showers lingering out towards Winchester, parts of Hagerstown right now, but most of us staying on the dry side. Up towards Baltimore, finally drying out after an hour's worth of a good old-fashioned rain with moderate to torrential rain coming down, and then Martinsburg as well. At this point, we're nice and dry for DC metro area. Temperatures into the 70s, a few 60s out there, but it's super comfortable. Dew points as well. They are not super high, so we're actually sitting under breathable air that is super comfortable across the region. Overnight lows tonight, upper 60s to lower 70s across the region. We do have straight line wind damage on the table for tomorrow afternoon with that DMV First Warn Day. I have more of that forecast. It's coming up.
All right, Janessa, we'll see you then. Meanwhile, developing now at 9, a Metro Transit police officer shot a woman in DuPont Circle. Police said the officer opened fire when they saw 2 people coming out of a jewelry store. One had a gun. DC
News Now's Ben Dennis has been live for us all day, and he was in Northwest DC. And Ben, police have given an update on what happened there.
That's right. It's certainly been a disruptive day in DuPont Circle. The police, swarms of them, long gone, as of the swarms of police tape that were put up to block folks from getting anywhere close to the Ideal Cut Jewelry's location here on Connecticut Avenue. This was where that robbery attempt had happened, and that Metro Transit police officer responded right here on the sidewalk. We saw just a couple of hours ago where a handgun was picked up and collected as evidence. Let's break it down. An eyewitness also telling us in just a moment of the sights and sounds of what they heard. But transit police say one of their officers was in the area around 3:30 on patrol. A citizen alerted them to a very busy night, DC, to a robbery at the jewelry store. 2 suspects came outside. One had a gun. The officer fired a shot, hit the suspect in the leg. Both went back inside the store, we're told, the suspects. More officers showed up, arrested the 2 people. Now, one woman and a man described what they heard at the time, and another woman told me she's a longtime customer at the store and she's happy employees are safe.
Hit hard. I don't know why, if it's just a location or something, but during the riots and things, he was just totally broken into. That's why he doesn't keep anything in his front window.
And then the cop, he was 2 times pop, pop. And that's how the cop, he was yelling something. He sounded like he said, get down or stop or something, or get out the way.
I heard the SPO holler several times, don't move, freeze. After about 15 times, I heard 1 round go off.
Now, we're told the woman who was shot by the officer in the leg wheeled off in the ambulance. She's expected to be okay. We saw the young male suspect as well, who police do believe is an adult, so a man, was taken away in handcuffs. But at this hour, Chris and Tosin, still no word on any charges or the identities of suspects. But of course, we'll monitor this on air and online at DCNewsNow.com. Live in Northwest at DuPont Circle, Ben Dennis, back to you.
Next, in at 9, we have new video showing Tennessee troopers pulling over Kilmar Abrego Garcia during a traffic stop several years ago. He is a Maryland father mistakenly deported to El Salvador in March. This body cam footage shows Abrego Garcia being pulled over for speeding in November of 2022. During the stop, troopers discover his Maryland license was expired. He tells the troopers all 10 people inside the SUV were doing construction work in Missouri and heading back to Maryland. The officer, though, suspects Abrego Garcia was a human trafficker.
He's hauling these people for money. Yeah. So he's getting paid to haul these people, probably to Maryland, I would say. They don't have any luggage in there, right? And if you get them out, they're going to have a toothpaste and they're going to have toothbrushes in their pockets, I guarantee it.
A report from the Department of Homeland Security shows Abrego Garcia was never charged with the crime. The Trump administration has accused him of being an MS-13 gang member, which has never been proven, and they say they have no power to bring him back to Maryland.
New tonight, transportation officials investigating an incident today at Reagan National Airport. It involves 2 passenger planes and a Black Hawk helicopter. The National Transportation Safety Board says a Delta Airlines flight and a Republic Airways flight were both told to perform go-arounds today. And it was because of a U.S. Army Black helicopter that was flying to the Pentagon. A go-around is when a plane is about to land but doesn't and flies back around the airport to try again to land. Now, this past January, 67 people died in an aerial collision between an American Airlines jet and an Army Black Hawk helicopter near the DCA. You can find more on that story on our website, dcnewsnow.com.
Well, President Trump making new appointments to the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Council. They oversee the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum. Several Jewish advocacy organizations saying it's something that should not be politicized. It's a controversial move after the president removed several Biden appointees on Tuesday. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg live at the Holocaust Museum for us. So, Daniel, what kind of impact will this have?
Well, Chris, that is to be seen. There are 68 members on the council. 55 of them are appointed by the president, and they all serve 5-year staggered terms, meaning that they are supposed to carry between administrations. Late Thursday night, President Trump announced 8 new members of the council, including conservative media personalities and the son of Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff. He posted on Truth Social saying, "This council has the important task of preserving the memories and stories of the loved ones whose lives were robbed in one of the darkest moments in history. Never forget."
I don't like it. I think all of us should be upset by it.
It comes 2 days after he fired 8 members appointed by former President Biden in January. That included his former chief of staff, Ron Klain, and former second gentleman, Doug Emhoff. Emhoff posted on social media saying, "Let me be clear, Holocaust remembrance and education should never be politicized."
It's absolutely terrible. It's obnoxious. You know, like, that's not what these museums are about. Like, the government funds them, and then they independently do their job, which is educate the public.
Ron Halber, CEO of the Jewish Community Relations Council of Greater Washington, said this week the sudden dismissal of trustees well before their terms expired without any apparent cause and just days after Jewish people around the world commemorated Yom HaShoah is an unwarranted intrusion in the museum's operations, which by design and in practice are strictly nonpartisan. And I did ask the White House why those Biden appointees were terminated. All I got in response was check Trump's Truth Social. We're live in Northwest. Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
All right, all new tonight, the Washington Post reporting the Trump administration is planning a major downsizing of U.S. spy agencies, and that includes cutting about 1,200 people from the CIA. The White House reportedly telling lawmakers it plans to make those cuts over several years. Now, the CIA does not publicly disclose its workforce size, but the Post reports it's believed to be around 22,000. The Trump administration also plans to fire thousands more from other agencies like the highly secretive National Security Agency. The downsizing is taking place separately from efforts by DOJ.
In Prince George's County, 2 10th graders are accused of having a loaded gun at school. The gun was found at Wise High School in Upper Marlboro Thursday. Police say the gun was inside a backpack one student handed to another student. Both teens took off before they were arrested. Police say the 16-year-old and 17-year-old will be charged as adults. Do you recognize this man on your screen? We are showing you this photo because Montgomery County Police say he's on the run for murder. His name, Jordan Hungerford. Police say the 19-year-old shot and killed a 20-year-old man in Montgomery Village Saturday. A second suspect, Damari Brown, was arrested on first-degree murder.
Well, the Trump administration now asking the Supreme Court to allow DOJ to access Social Security systems. An emergency appeal was filed today. It comes after a judge in Maryland restricted the team's access under federal privacy laws. The government says the DOJ team needs access in order to target waste in the federal government. Social Security holds personal records of nearly everyone in the country, from school records to salary information. We are learning more tonight of the Army's plans for a military parade to celebrate its 250th anniversary next month.
Yeah, the proposed celebration would also be on the same day as President Donald Trump's 79th birthday, who has pushed for this parade. DC News Now's Max Marcilla shares the new details and how it's being received.
Next month, we could see thousands of Army soldiers and tons of military equipment crossing the Arlington Memorial Bridge just behind us. It's drawing plenty of excitement for some and criticism, especially around the price tag. For years, President Trump has shared his desire to hold a military parade in the nation's capital, and it appears it could happen.
Any opportunity to support the military and those who have sacrificed and put their lives on the line for the safety and the freedom of the rest of this country, I think it's a great idea.
Tamara Ushinsky is an Army vet visiting D.C. from Texas, and she's hopeful the plans become a reality. According to new reporting by the Associated Press, the parade would consist of 6,600 soldiers, at least 150 military vehicles and 50 helicopters, and possibly a couple hundred civilians. But it'll come at a cost, likely tens of millions of dollars.
What a great way to save money.
That concern is extending to D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, who said this last month.
Yeah, military tanks on our streets would not be good. If military tanks were used, they should be accompanied with many millions of dollars to repair the roads.
DC News Now obtained a copy of the permit submitted to the National Park Service, and we know this would be the parade route, starting in the Pentagon parking lot, going across the Arlington Memorial Bridge, past the Lincoln Memorial, and then down Constitution Avenue.
We don't need to show off. This is America. People know that we're bad.
An Army spokesperson says the parade might become a part of the festival that's scheduled for June 14th, but as of now, it's unclear if it will actually happen. Reporting in Southwest Washington, Max Marcilla, DC News Now.
Coming up here in DC News Now at 9, a Tesla burned to a crisp. What caused this car to go up in flames inside a busy Montgomery County parking garage?
And people are strapping in, emotionally that is, for their last rides at Six Flags. The community reacts as the theme park prepares to close for good.
Ahead at 9:30, a battle between Congress and DC, the fight to preserve Medicaid funding for the district.